I think it's a very interesting update. It's something that was never done by OpenAI. It's a different kind of feature. So I think that it's an interesting feature, and I think it has big implications. So I think it's going to be an exciting new year. So let's cover this.
Hi, my name is Dimitri Panici, and I'm a content creator, agency owner, and AI enthusiast. You're listening to the AI Agents Podcast, brought to you by Jotform, and featuring our very own CEO and founder, Ida Tank. This is the show where artificial intelligence meets innovation, productivity, and the tools shaping the future of work. Enjoy the show. Hello, everyone. In this episode, we're going to talk about how ChatGPT decided to release some agent-like components within their application with ChatGPT Tasks. And I'm joined today by Ida Tank, as always. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Awesome.
I think it's a very interesting update. It's something that was never done by OpenAI.
Oh, yeah.
It's a different kind of feature. So I think that it's an interesting feature, and I think it has big implications. So I think it's going to be an exciting new year. So let's cover this. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I think just to set the stage a little bit of what this is, ChatGPT essentially released this update, unless you're living under a rock, it released this update where you can schedule executions of the, ChatGPT prompting, so to say, where you can schedule it at different time intervals, at specific times of days, of weeks. It's very much just like a scheduling feature for utilizing the product at this moment, and that's the kind of where we're starting at. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at that itself, kind of some of the comments from Sam Altman, actually a couple years ago, on what his thoughts are with the way that he sees ChatGPT moving forward, how that plays into this. We're going to play around with the product and then talk about the implications on ChatGPT and other products moving forward. So first of all, I think, Idekin, if you could pull up that blog, it would be helpful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
So this is a blog post that was released, published by Sam Altman,
Yeah.
founder of OpenAI, CEO of OpenAI, 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the interesting part. Here in the article towards the end, when he's talking about, in general, like talking about how we are getting to, how they know how to get to AGI, things like that, he actually
Yes.
says something very interesting. He says, "We believe that in 2025, we may see the first AI agents join the workforce and materially change the output of companies." So he's actually saying that this is the year of AI agents, and many people were actually
Mm-hmm.
saying this. But I think it's important that this is actually being said, but by the CEO of OpenAI, which is like the leading company in the AI, and he's actually, after that, he's actually saying we continue to believe that iteratively putting great tools in the hands of people leads to great, broadly distributed outcomes. And he said this, and right like a week or two later, just this week, they released tasks as a beta feature. So
Mm-hmm.
this is kind of like a small feature. So it's a iterative small feature, small tool. But I think it's important because even though it's a small feature, it's an agentic feature. It's an AI. It's kind of like an AI agent. It's an AI agent because it actually works behind the scenes. It actually
Yes.
does something for you. So you tell it, okay, here's what I want you to do. Uh, do this every day or do this every week, and it
Exactly.
just creates this task and does it for you. So it's very agentic feature, and I think it's their first step. And they actually call like the baby AGI. Like when they released this on Twitter, they actually called it the baby AGI steps. So this is a
Mm-hmm.
baby AGI steps, and this allows you to kind of create this your first agent using ChatGPT. And then my guess is like they're going to be releasing features like this in 2025. and build on it. And it's actually a great way to get ideas. If you think about it, for them, like if they're wondering like what kind of agentic like functionality people need,
Yeah,
like what would you do if you are actually wondering about that? You would just release this like task feature and see what people are actually what kind of task people were creating, and find out like what people are trying to do and learn from that. And I think this
absolutely. Yeah.
is the main reason they started with this.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think we're going to get into how easy it is to navigate with, but on this podcast, especially you can see it in the video form, I do a lot of showcases of like really strong like AI agent use cases that you can create, and with automation and different products. But it's not as accessible to everybody, right? Like I've spent some time like learning these things, and I'm sort of trying to like even in those videos more broaden people's minds to what can be done, because of the fact that people just don't think like that often. But with this product update, what we're really seeing is an immediate like reaction from people. I remember I saw it first happening on LinkedIn, and you emailed me, and I'm like, oh, I already saw it. I'm going to make a video on this. This is crazy. Um, it's just so accessible, right? Like, and that's what I think is great about this. And when he's saying like they're going to see AI agents join the workforce in 2025, I think the main way that we can see that practically happen for people who have small companies and aren't like these enterprise people that are ready and planning for this is to have an accessible product update, so to
And
say, that
in
does
the
this. Yeah,
same blog post, Sam Altman actually talks about how they've reached like 300 million weekly active users. Like 300
that's a
million
lot.
actually goes to ChatGPT and like enters a prompt and uses it and gets value out of it. So this is huge number of people. And if you think about it, like we are kind of technical, right? I built a
Yeah,
product for non-technical people. It's a like no code platform. But even a product like Jotform, it's very simple, easy to use. Like we see that it's like people struggle even with like really simple things. Like, and all the examples we have been showing with products like Make or Zapier, even though they are actually easy to use, they are no code. Like you don't need to actually code. Like for most people, that they are not very accessible, they are not easy to use. But
very true.
prompting is easy, because what you are doing when you prompt is you actually just tell it what you need. Like you just tell it, okay, I need this, and then it just it does it for you. You don't need to learn how to click a button, how to add another like step in like this make this uh, stream or whatever it's called, these
Yeah,
steps, right?
yeah,
You don't
hmm
need to learn those things. You can just tell it what you need, and it does it for you. Now, uh, like instead of just putting a prompt, you can actually start telling it to kind of like build software for you. Like, okay, like build me a software so that you can send me this you can do this for me every week. So I think it's the first step in that. And if you think about those 300 million people, I doubt that like 1% of them can actually or use actually Make or Zapier, and the rest of them are probably they would be kind of afraid to like just try to learn products like that. And for them, being able to just prompt what they need is huge, and this is going to make
exactly.
them
Yeah,
so much more productive.
yeah. I think there's a lot of just like little things you can get off your plate like right away with this. And obviously you have your own use cases you probably tried out. So if you want to dive into it by grabbing the screen controls and kind of showing some stuff that you've tried out, and I'd say probably the best route for this would be like just show an example and then
Mhm.
talk about kind of the variations you were telling me earlier, and sharing the even the email digest or the email digest that you get since you already have one received.
Yeah. So, right, I tried two examples. Let's try them. And the first example was, let's just let's just do them from scratch, right?
Yeah.
So one of the examples was like, I have two sons. Two sons. One is 8 and one is 10. Suggest me, you know, weekend activities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I could just prompt this. But what if I want to just get this list, get some ideas every Friday, right? Um, um, Send this. So one trick that I have been using to actually kind of test my prompts is actually say it like, send this now, um, and and then it can actually do it right now, right? It can actually suggest ideas, updates. Let me see if I'm actually on the correct one. So basically, like to use this, we have to be on this one. But let's see, like just send this report every Friday. So this is what I did actually, and it just creates this. Okay, it actually I'm actually in the wrong one. So to be able to use this,
I
you
was
need
gonna
to
say,
be
yeah.
this specific GPT-40 schedule tasks.
Mm-hmm.
So I will switch to that. Now, when I switch to that, send this report every Friday. Now I'm actually gonna get a report every Friday. So you can actually see this. This is like this is actually very similar to what we did with chat from AI agents. Like we have this one-on-one chat with the agents. Like you can have this one-on-one chat, and it actually like when it takes action, we created similar like boxes. So this is very similar. Send weekly activities, and so basically it created this task for me, and you can click on it. So it actually edit here. You can edit it here. You can delete it, right? Maybe the prompt is missing some pieces here. I don't know if it actually has other sections. Um, so it has some like it's not sending Friday. So this is still beta. So
Mm-hmm.
it still has some quirks. It also lost like these activities should be about like there's
Yeah.
no way to preview it. So instead of previewing it, like you could just run the same uh, task with this prompt with this. You could just say, "Hey, send it, do this for me in 1 minute," and then it will actually do it. So this one was one, and the other one
Mm-hmm.
was I actually wanted to send me daily activities, and when I did that, I gave it a time, and then I was able to actually I received an email. So that's the great thing about it. Let me share that screen as well. So I received this email that says, okay, it came from OpenAI. It says daily agents report and task updated from ChatGPT. And then if I click on this message and share that tab, we can see that it's actually like it did the research for me and it sent me. So basically, what I'm doing here is like every day it's sending me updates about what's happening with AI agents. I think that's a great way to kind of do like get updates about news happening,
Mm-hmm.
um, so that like every day, like if you care about specific topics, you can get like emails every day and get updated.
Real quick, can you open up your maybe I didn't see it correctly when you were sharing, but did you showcase like how it'll pop in your email?
Yeah. Let me. So it actually on my email. Let me share what it looks like in my email. Do you see my email right now?
Yes, sir.
Um, so basically, it doesn't actually add it into your email. It just gives you a button.
Yeah, it gives you
So
a
I think it
message,
would
yeah.
have been better like it just send it within the email. So you
Mm.
still have to click on this
Okay.
button.
Yeah.
And when you click on the button, you actually go to that prompt, and in that prompt, like you just see the latest report here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think what I could be good is I'll take the screen grab for a second and
Mhm.
hit with some of my thoughts and critiques as well as I mean there's positives to this usually, but there's nothing wrong with giving a good critique. So Idekin, when you went through and did this, I actually think this is very interesting. I actually think, when I've noticed the advancement of ChatGPT, right? Especially with not only in the web product, but in the desktop product, I have a feeling that this option from going from 4.0 to scheduled, I think this is going to be a button at some point where basically I like the concept of right now them showcasing it as its separate model, quote, because of the fact that it'll like introduce people to it, right? But I have a feeling that what you did, I mean, you said something that I thought made a lot of sense, right? You're like typing in here and you're going through a multi-prompt sequence. So like say, for example, I go into this. I could imagine in the future, similar to how search works, you can just press the task button and then it will schedule it.
Or they will just add it under the tools icon. You see that tools icon in the middle?
Yeah. That's another great
They'll
point too.
probably
Yeah,
edit there.
yeah. One of the two options is, I think, makes a lot of sense. And it's actually weird that they have search separated, but also in tools. And then O1's in here. Yeah, but I have a feeling they're going to add this to the interface and just like, because for me, I don't think it makes sense for it to be a different model. There's probably a world in where it becomes available maybe for even other models too. And I just wanted to talk about what ended up happening with what happened here. So when you were talking to it, like say I were to just say, I make content for about AI agents. Please research the AI agent industry using the Chat GPT search function and find 3 potential tasks for me to complete content on. Now, if I do this inside of tasks, what'll happen is it's going to do it. And you'll see, ooh, it looks like there was a problem scheduling. Could you try again? Bugs. Okay, so let's see. Make this a daily task. Got it. I'll check daily. Okay, let's check it out. If I go here, search for the current. So this is what's interesting here, right? What I think happened is that when you created that task, the context didn't work in this sense. You were in the 4.0 model and then you switched over, so it only had the context of what you had typed. Yeah. So this is what I was trying to...
What's the context? Because I switched the models.
Models, yeah, correct. So that I think is problematic. And that they're going to immediately probably notice that, 1. And 2, I also think they're going to probably notice pretty quick another issue here. What would make a lot more sense is this instruction section should be, in my opinion, having the ability to press a plus sign here and adding as many prompt sequences as you want in a row. Not as many, maybe like 5, 10, whatever it is. But I think you could understand that, and you've seen it in your own work and you've seen it from other people's works, that sometimes you kind of need like a prompt sequence workflow. So I would imagine they're going to tweak that. I would imagine they're going to...
But if you think about it, that instruction section, I don't know if it has character limit, but you could actually enter like multiple prompts there, right? You could just say, okay, do this, then do that, and
Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah.
add your prompts there if it's like it allows you that. And I think you just discovered a great trick to do lots of different things in sequence. Just edit there, build a big prompt, and that just do something, right? Maybe do a web search and analyze that search, create a table, and then like just process that table. So you could actually like put as much things as you want within that prompt and get a report every day.
Yeah.
Maybe like
Very
you can
true.
ask it to turn the news into like single sentences and then create a table from it, and it will just it's just going to be much easier to understand that.
Well, this is
And
my favorite. One of my favorite things to do is exactly what you're saying, which is like, so I take this context, right? And I've showed you before that I already have like a ChatGPT agent surrounding content. So this is like my content specific agent. What I like to do is I like to do things like say, I make content about AI agents. Please research the AI agent industry using the ChatGPT search function. And this is like where my starting point is. But what I'm going to say is, please take the concept below and make a multi-prompt sequence that would create a better long workflow for creating bite-sized LinkedIn content and Twitter content on AI agent news. So then if I ask ChatGPT, like the funniest thing is I love prompt sequencing, but also you should just ask ChatGPT how it wants to be prompt because it's probably going to do a better job.
no.
So usually what I'll do is I'll take the advice and then what I'm going to do here, right, is take whatever this outputs and let's try to schedule that inside of ChatGPT. And let's do the trick that we talked about earlier, which is, telling it to run in a minute, right? I think ends up making it work. Obviously, you could do that, or you could go to the schedule and have it be 1 minute. You could change the schedule to be 1 minute from now. All right, so I got this guy right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to ChatGPT Tasks. I'm going to paste this out, and then I'm going to say, take this multi-prompt sequence below and run it at, let's just do 7:36 a.m. every morning. This is the little tips and tricks that I think will probably help people the most. Let's see. Got it. 7:36. Well, we got a minute to speculate, which is good. But what I'm hoping happens here when I click on this is you'll see is it does say, tell me to run the multi-prompt sequence below. I can just say probably run the multi-prompt sequence below. It's scheduled to 7:36 a.m. Let's make sure it's saved. And this is the interesting thing. I'm very curious to see how does it actually operate. And if we go to view all tasks here, just want to show you some of the functionality. What'll happen here is, it'll show you what's scheduled. I think by default it does daily to like 9. It does daily tasks to 9 a.m. You can always edit these. You can pause these. If I click pause here, it'll just change it to being in the pause section. So overall, pretty interesting. All right, so let me click on this guy. It's 7:36. So that means it's probably going to...
You probably got an email right now.
All right, give me a sec. Let me just check. I'm sure I did, yeah. Okay, so let me go here. So what it did was take this
It did run it.
It did run multi-prompt workflow. What happened? It did not do what I asked of it. It instead restated what I asked of it, which is weird.
Interesting.
Okay, so clearly this is what I was getting at. I actually didn't. I mean, I was hopeful of what you said it would work, but I actually don't think.
What happens if you click on the refresh button at the bottom, or like, do you see that? Yeah. Okay. It says it's
just a model switch. Let me see whether I actually. No, this is a problem for sure. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me just double check. Maybe there's something I did wrong. So run the multi-prompt sequence below. Maybe like I can rephrase this. Sometimes like rephrasing the beginning works. I want to do the following below. Just literally just make it that blunt, and I think it might help because sometimes you're too weirdly specific. It's doesn't like to listen to you. But yeah, this is like I said, I think it could be a limitation. I think instructions are great, but generally having like prompt sequences is like the most effective, and I'm not quite sure this is gonna work. But I think this is totally fair to show the limitations, and speculate a little bit on where we think this is going. So after we finish this example, I think I want to talk about how other ways we can see this improve, and maybe how the other products in this space are gonna be impacted by this, because it's not the only chat LLM product. Obviously, it's the biggest one, but not necessarily the one that's the only one out there. So let's give it a moment. I'm gonna probably get an email in about like a second or two. By the way, I'm gonna check, where does this sit inside one's? Okay, so this sits here inside your account on the top right as well, just for context. So let's go to tasks out of curiosity. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Come on, please work. Yeah, it did something.
Right.
It did something. All right, there we go. So what it did is since I changed the prompt to be do it rather than it saying it was a multi-prompt sequence, it did it. So phase 1, research and ideate. So found the latest trend. So AI agents are increasingly being iterated into various industries, from the Wall Street Journal and The Verge. What are some notable updates from AI companies? OpenAI continues to add stuff. I think this is great that it mentioned Sam Altman here. ServiceNow under CEO Bill McDermott is expanding its AI integration across various departments and industries. Okay. Emerging use cases and milestones. AI agents are transforming industries by automating tasks handled by humans. Okay. Financial sector. Cool. Now it's giving it some prompts like summarize the advancements in AI agents this week, highlighting key players and contributions. Cool. So it gave it some key takeaways. Now, based on the AI agent news, write 3 compelling insights suitable for a professional LinkedIn post, and then convert this AI agent update into a 280 character summary for Twitter. Perfect. So we can see here we have a LinkedIn post, we have a Twitter post. Phase 4, enhance with visuals. Okay, so it tells me an example of an infographic I could make to go along with it. And then some other little hashtags and emojis for Twitter. And then say we're wanting to repurpose this into a blog snippet or additional threads. Gives me context and stuff there. So obviously, this is very basic in a well, I don't actually think it's that basic. Most people
You
probably
just
don't know.
need another AI agents that can actually take this output and go and post it on LinkedIn
Yes.
for you.
Yes, and that's where I want to get to in this discussion, right? Like, what do you think some of the implications are and the opportunities for ChatGPT to take advantage of here with things like integrations and stuff like that?
I feel like they have done this so that they can kind of discover what people are, what kind of tasks people would create, and like what kind of things they are trying to automate, and then from there they can actually come up with ideas to build those products and build those tools, build those AI agent features so that they can actually just use ChatGPT to accomplish your stuff. Right now, you just created the content, but you still need to manually go and post them. Right. But if you think about it, if the OpenAI also adds integration with other products like LinkedIn, Twitter, then you could your prompt could just say, create this Twitter, tweet, and then go and post it on X, right? And it's done. Everything is done. Like you are not even aware of it. Like the research is being done, the content is being created, and it's getting posted, and while you're asleep, right? You can always, when you wake up, you can check how things were and fix some if something is wrong. But it can all be done without you, and that's the great part. So I feel like this was a key piece. It kind of feels rushed, like they're missing auto pieces, like the um, inclusion, like just giving us like another ChatGPT version, things like that. Also, it's also sometimes giving errors, so that it's still missing out of things. But I think they are trying to kind of do find out how people will use this product, and then add all these agentic features. And that's actually what Sam Altman seems to be saying in his blog post. 2025 is going to be the year of AI agents, and they are going to be iteratively adding the tools to make make that feature possible. And so I think it's going to be an interesting year. I feel like we are going to do a lot of episodes like this, cover different tools the OpenAI comes out with. So I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah, me too. And absolutely, I agree with you. I think I'm excited to see integrations and stuff like that. Like, for example, we were talking about before the call, if, you know, you wanted to do those fun activities with your kids. What if you could potentially find local activities? It could search the internet for local activities and then add it to your Google Calendar or something like that. Like integrations that are practical for people on an individual basis. What if it drafts emails for people? What if it like finds, this could even be like a work case for, or a use case for, I'm thinking cold outreach to some extent, right? Like, oh, let's research people in a certain industry. Let's have it craft an email and then send out the email for you. Now, it could be as simple as in the user interface, instead of like it just being a small step-by-step process. What a lot of people are going to be thinking is, oh, wait a second, I don't really want that. Like, that's a little scary. Like, what if it automatically sends an email I don't want to send, right? Totally fair. What if it sends a LinkedIn post I don't want to send? Totally fair. But also imagine a world in where this setup gets nicer, and you can see let me pull it up again. You could see a LinkedIn post like this, right? And we've got an experience with Canvas, for example, where you can make edits and tweaks to this. What if then the Canvas allows you to press a button that would then send the email or send the tweet, right? And that's that little human in the loop step that a lot of people want. And that's the nice thing about, I think, this product is it is going to iterate and change, but at the moment, it's leaving a little bit to be desired. But I like that it's like letting people test it out prior to maybe what its full functionality is.
Yeah, I mean, instead of doing everything yourself, you just approve it, right? You just check out what's happening, and I mean, if you think about it, in an agentic feature, you could also have these editors that actually review what it comes out with, and the editor kind of knows like what you prefer, and maybe like after a while that you kind of like by watching you what you approve, what you don't approve, it's going to
It'll
learn from it,
learn.
and it's going to be able to kind of decide like what to publish, what not to publish. And you could even have that as a separate agent. In addition to the creator agent, you could have this editor agent that makes the decisions for you, and you could still approve them, but it's going to be much better. Like it's going to even reduce the amount of like work you have to do even more.
Well, are you familiar with this AI, this ChatGPT action situation?
No, not really.
Okay, so ChatGPT actions essentially allows you to, let me show you just what they are. Actions GPT. It's
Mm.
essentially a product feature that a lot of people aren't even talking about, where you can store actions inside of custom GPTs, and you can do things like send requests to automation platforms and stuff like that. So if you are a more advanced user like me, you can essentially send the information. So what I'm interested in seeing is how can you take these scheduled tasks, maybe put them inside, right, of a custom GPT, and then basically what happens with actions is you can like tell it to run the action based on the context of your prompt results. So in
Can
theory,
you click on that
this could,
example to show us like what's available there?
yeah, it's like sending JSON to
Yeah.
like get the current weather, or XAML to like list pets at a pet store. Like these are
Mhm.
all like coded examples, and I'm sure they could make it more basic, and they could, with their OON model, help you make the JSON and stuff like that. There's even a what's it called? I'm pretty sure they have a AI agent. They have like a custom GPT that helps you make these,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
Which is funny.
it has get and post. So basically, what you could do is like you could create a spreadsheet, and if it's able to access its URL, it can download it, use the data within it, and even update the data. Just update the data in it, or just like find out if
Exactly.
there are any differences from day to day, and then give you a report about those changes.
Exactly. And if you want help with like how to do this stuff, they've made an actions GPT, which is pretty entertaining. Like you
Hmm.
can create it gives you some example prompts, but create a one for Stripe here. And this is a little bit more advanced, but just pointing this out, if they marry these two things, I definitely see this being like really powerful fast. It's just a matter of they haven't quite married them in any sense. So I do see some limitations here, but not to say it ain't good. It is good. I think it's a very interesting update. Um, Now, what are your thoughts on like how other products are going to do? Like, do you think that there are going to be any sort of updates in the realm of like, I mean, obviously Claude, big competitor. What do you think is going to happen soon?
There's always that problem with platforms. So when you run your company, your product on a platform, you have always have that danger that the platform owner might actually decide that, okay, I'm just going to implement this as a feature, and then your whole product, your whole company is like out of job. And so one example to this was like Facebook. At some point, like there were a lot of companies building all these different products on top of Facebook, and just in a single day Facebook decided, okay, I'm not allowing like sharing anymore. Like just I'm not going to let you be able to kind of post updates, things like that. Many of the companies just they were done. And now that people are building all these products on top of OpenAI, ChatGPT, that there's always that danger that OpenAI will decide, okay, we are going to build this product, and we are going to build all those features. I think one good thing is like it's not like one company play. There's not just one platform. If you look at the other platforms like Cloud, Gemini, there are actually good equivalents. So you are not limited to one platform that they cannot just cut you out. So I feel like what's going to happen is that these LLM companies, they're going to be also building all the features others are building. And if you are just writing this wrapper around an LLM, you're in danger because you don't have any mode, and just OpenAI might decide that it's just going to add that as a feature, add your product as a feature to their product, and then you're gone. Like you have a big problem. So
Yeah, exactly.
if you have the domain knowledge, if you're building a product, and if the AI is just like one part of that product, and you are actually building all these like user experience, all these like um, additional features and user UIs, you can actually build a good product. So for example, in our case, like we are building this just from AI agents, and just from AI agents is definitely using AI, using OpenAI and ChatGPT to kind of have that conversations. But we are also building so many additional things on top of that. Like we have our AI agents have their own voice, have their own like visual identity. They have we are also building all these different ways people can actually use these agents. Like we just built the WhatsApp version, so you can actually have your customer service representative on WhatsApp, just AI customer service, and the phone is really great. Like people are having conversations. Like just this week, like I was just listening to this conversation, and we actually started doing this for just from customer support. Like you can call a number and talk to an just from customer support AI,
Mm-hmm.
and this person was so much impressed, maybe impressed, maybe like convinced that the AI agent wasn't real, that he started like saying things like, "Okay, you are not AI. You are kidding me. Like, stop messing with me." And actually, he got angry. He started shouting at our AI agent, and he was really angry. And and the AI agent was still cool, saying like, "No, I am an AI agent,"
That's nice. That's
but
good.
he
That's
didn't
good.
believe it. He didn't believe that he was talking to an AI agent. It was so good. So I think it's all those companies, they have to kind of build their own products, and not just be a wrapper around all these AI companies platforms. Just build their own product, just like SaaS companies. And we have been talking about the vertical AI agents, and maybe that's going to be
For
published
sure.
later, right? Because this is like we are doing this because this product just came out, so we'll publish this earlier. But soon we will also release this episode about vertical AI agents, and we are going to talk about how the next generation of SaaS products are going to be are going to involve AI, but it doesn't mean that they're just going to be a wrapper around ChatGPT. They're gonna have to like have the domain knowledge. They're gonna have to have really build features for those industries that they are serving. And I think uh, that's this is gonna be like once the OpenAI starts releasing all these additional agentic features this year, we will see many products that they are not going to be able to continue. They're not going to be able to survive. But the companies that are actually building great products, I don't think that can be changed because OpenAI cannot build. Like even if you look at the task, it has like so many bugs. Like just it's really hard to build a great product. It takes time to build a great product, and it's about focus and like putting yourself and spending your time and energy on a specific area for a long time, and you're able to like build a great product that way. And so the companies that do that, they're going to be successful. So that's what I
Absolutely.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a key thing to note here is that there is a difference between like a product that's a wrapper and a product. Because a product that essentially is a wrapper, most of the time when they fail is they're taking something that's lacking from ChatGPT and then they almost utilize the API and then try to make the feature that ChatGPT is lacking at the moment. and then sell it as a product. That's a huge difference. And I can explain 2 examples really quick that you'll probably be like, yeah, that makes sense. One, I remember there was a lot of different small companies that made PDF-based ChatGPT wrappers, where essentially it allowed people to analyze PDFs. And now what ended up happening is ChatGPT added a add files to ChatGPT function, and then it kind of went out the window. Do you recall this?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And then you had a list of chat bots and stuff like that, which was much bigger of a thing, right? Like, especially with like what you're doing with AI agents, you're allowing it to train a knowledge base. You have a huge infrastructure of how that's set up. It can be embedded into your website, all of these things. This is a product. A lot of times people will see, it's like software as a service is not defined by the fact that it can function on one feature for you if its entire capability is like based off of a connection to another product's API, and that's the issue I think a lot of people run in. It's like, if this can function inside of the current ChatGPT product or ecosystem, don't even think about making it make something else, because ChatGPT is just going to come out with it in 6 to 12 months. You'll put all this time and investment, and it's kind of a waste. But with IDEKIN, what we're doing is much different. Like at Jotform, we're making something that is truly its own product. And while it may be augmented and benefit from a language model, that's not the same thing as, just wrapping a feature that ChatGPT hasn't had yet in an interface.
Yeah. I think, yeah, definitely we are going to see a lot of new stuff. So I'm curious, like, what else OpenAI will come up with to add to ChatGPT, what kind of agentic features they're going to add. So it's going to be interesting. And we are going to keep watching and making sure that we cover them for our listeners.
Absolutely. And I'm also interested to see, I don't know, do you have any thoughts on, before we close it out, do you have any thoughts on what other competitors will be doing? Like, for example, like Claude or anything like that?
I think Gemini actually had a feature called Reminders. So they kind of had this feature.
Okay.
But I think it's
Classic.
much more flexible. So Claude first came up with computer use. And did OpenAI also came out with computer use functionality agent? There were actually rumors that they would come out with their own computer use features. So I don't think they have released anything like that.
No,
so
I don't see anything about that, but they have
that's
plans. They have plans to, allegedly. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a alleged, like the rumors are that it's going to be like ChatGPT 4V or something.
That could be the next thing that comes out.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. If Sam's claiming that they will be able to take jobs in 25, he clearly knows something we don't that they have in the works. So I'm excited to see all that. All right. Well, with that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you for listening to this episode. Make sure to leave a like on the YouTube videos. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those different platforms. Thank you so much for watching. And IDEKIN and I will both see you in the next one.
We'll see you the next time.